All right, what a day. I don't think we have any more plays left on the call sheet, so we got a bunch of different scenarios. I can't say enough about the resilience of this group. First and foremost, let me give credit to the Atlanta Falcons, who just came out and had an amazing first half, and our defense was able to settle down, in the second half. And offensively, we had a couple of possessions, early on that got away from us, but settled down and made the plays happen when we needed them to, and we needed all the downs. We needed third down, fourth down, all of it to get it done. But I'm just really proud of the resilience of the group to just refocus, go to the next drive, keep playing. You never know, all the way to overtime. So really proud.
With Bryce specifically, what did
Yeah.
he just push through to lead the team to this win?
Oh, just he was dealing with some stuff. It was the ankle flared up a couple times, and he was able to, they checked it out and they made sure that everything was structurally fine. And at that point it was just a pain tolerance thing, and he gutted it out, and he wanted to do that for his teammates. And I'm just really proud of the way that he stepped in there and made the plays when we needed him to.
Dave, you've heard from us all week about the vertical passing game. You had 7 completions of over 20 yards, 9 different receivers caught passes. What went into this game plan that you think helped you kind of switch things up from what you had previously?
It really is about the guys and the work that they've been putting in. And I think I've mentioned before, I'm seeing the improvement in practice. I'm seeing the chemistry happen. And for whatever reason, that hasn't showed up in the game. And today we found great rhythm. And it's not always pretty. And there were some dirty pockets, but the offensive line, did an admirable job of giving Bryce time, and Bryce spot a little bit of time to find guys down the field. And it just takes a couple of plays, and the guys feel the juice and the confidence to continue to go. We had a couple of misstops in the red zone as well. I thought, T-Mac had one in the back of the end zone. Xavier had another one. He's open in the back half. We got an uncovered guy, and A.J. Terrell makes a great play and jumps up out of position to knock it down. And so there's still a lot of things that we got to clean up. But at the end of the day, it's about making plays. And that's something that, talking to the guys, like, I'm not always going to call a perfect play. But at the end of the day, the ball gets snapped. There's 5 eligibles most of the time. Find a completion, find a win, and the guys found wins in different ways.
Dave, after that really big first half by the Falcons, you guys kind of really shut them out, except for that field goal at the end of regulation. You talked about the defense settling down. Can you talk about some of the adjustments that you guys made at halftime, or that you saw ever make at halftime?
Yeah, well, simply put, it was tackling, in the first half, and Bijan really just went off. And we had guys in position, and he made us miss a couple of times, and that's where we have to have the full group rallying to the ball, so that if someone does miss, someone's there to pick it up. And he picked up a bunch of extra yards that way. Playing the little details, all those things, were talked about at the half, and that really wasn't the full story. It was really just about the guys, getting in position and getting the guy down.
Dave, in this room last year, Bryce had a big game, and you said he's our guy. What do you say about him after today? He goes for 448 yards. It's a franchise record. What your thoughts on him and him as a leader of this team?
To me, it's just my expectation for Bryce to take every game plan and every opportunity and attack it. And he's been doing that. Today was a day about the whole group. It was about all the guys, the time on task, the side conversations in practices, working together in between drives, and really just making it come alive, and finding the completions where they were, and extending the play when he needed to. And I'm just proud of the way that he just pushed through for his teammates, and it just speaks volumes to, the type of leader that he's continuing to grow into, and, to be able to be available for his guys, and find a bunch of different guys in different situations.
Did he say anything in particular to you about his physical condition when he came back out? Did he tell you, I'm good to go?
He said, I'm good. He gave me a thumbs up. He said, I'm good. I said, that's good enough for me. Let's get him back out there. And Andy was ready, and Andy was warming up and ready to go out for that series. And, I got to commend, Denny Kellington and the training staff for getting that thing turned around quickly and making sure we did the right thing, and do the full evaluation in there to make sure that he was in the right place to go back out there, because he wanted to. But I was fired up. It was like, okay, let's go.
How are you feeling after today? You came in, you're out of breath. I don't know, you seem a little chill, but this is a big win for you guys.
I'm just really proud. I'm really proud. The challenge to the group last night is like this has to become your team. And I love this group. I love the physical nature that we play with. I'm proud of the effort. I have been for over a year and a half now. The character of this group that just continues to fight, continues to play. And what we're waiting for is for these guys to take it. to take the wheel and to say, this is our team, coach, we got it. And I had a bunch of guys, coming out the locker room today say, we got this. And they're just, reaffirming. And even though the Falcons had a great first half and they made some plays in the second half too, obviously to, send it into overtime, this was a group that wasn't going to quit. And our guys just continue to step up and say, this is our team, let's go make this thing happen.
What kind of win does this?
Lost today too. It's you only half a game out. What's it mean for you personally to be in this position and for this team to be in this position this late in the season?
It's exactly the vision and the dream that I hope for this group, that if we play good complementary football for a long time, we'll put ourselves in position for the finish. And we're in that position right now. We got a lot of work and a bunch of great teams. And, for us, it's just the focus is 1 week at a time. And we're going to regroup. We're going to meet tomorrow, and then we're going to play the Niners on Monday night. But the focus has to be 1-0, but it's the hard work, and it's the trust, it's the commitment that puts you in a position to have this opportunity.
Dave,
What kind of win does this?
yarder to Tommy in
Yeah.
that time. Looked like he was Bryce's check down. Kind of take me through that play. What you saw?
Yeah, that's Bryce's last progression on the play, and he evaluated it, and he got through his progressions. We got to give the offensive line credit for allowing him to take that second hitch and find Tommy late, and then Tommy just secured the ball and took off. And I'd love for him to just score on that one, so to get all the antics out of the way. But it was just guys being where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. And one of our basic, most core concepts that we've run a million times, the guys executed it well in a critical time, and that's what good football is about.
Dave,
What
this
kind
is
of
the
win
re-
does this? What type? How do you feel about this kind of win, a division win towards the end of the season? What does this do for a young team like?
Absolutely. All of these division opponents, what I try to sell to the group weekly is every game is a championship opportunity. And no more so than when you're playing a division opponent on the road. And this is the type of environment that we have to be comfortable with to execute. And so for me, it gives me a chance to just circle back around and double down on the focus that every game needs to be approached with this kind of care, this kind of focus, and this kind of execution.
Dave, could you take us a little bit through the game plan? This is a Falcons team that gave up 323 rushing yards last week, but you find success through the air today. What went into that plan?
Yeah, just understanding that our run game has been a strong suit for us, and teams are making concessions for that, knowing that we have to be able to be a balanced attack, that if they're going to make it hard with loaded up boxes, crowded line of scrimmages, blitzes, those are all the things that we saw today. And we were able to find some windows and some completions, to complement that part of it. And, in the back of my mind, it's like, can we get a lead, get into our run game, and have this thing finish as a balanced thing? We weren't able to do that, so we had to throw it a little bit more to give ourselves a chance, and the guys came together and allowed us to execute that.
Last question from Scott. You had one?
You were out on one knee when Bryce was flat on his back, that first injury. Everyone looked very concerned. At that moment, can you describe it a little bit, and then did you really think at that point he's coming back in the game?
Well, you can't blink, and I know we have to go through the evaluation process. So for me, it was like, okay, let me go check on my guy. Well, first and foremost, I want to make sure he's in a good headspace, and depending on what the nature of the injury would be. So, my initial attention goes there, and then it just goes to, okay, Andy, here we go, get ready. And it happened on a third down, so there was a little bit of time to kind of talk that through. But certainly my concern for him personally, supersedes anything else. And then, of course, for the rest of the group, it's like, okay, here's where we're at now. Here's how we have to proceed forward if that's the case. But he was able to turn it around and get back out there.
Dave, what did that overtime session say about Tommy? And then Bryce got a lot of people involved in the passing game today. How gratifying was it to see that part of the game come to life?
It's really just my dream and vision for our group is you try to create a focal point. And T-Mac has been unbelievable in terms of how he's made himself available, dealing with different looks, different challenging coverages, and that's where everybody else gets opportunities and matchups. And Xavier had a couple of great plays where the matchup and the ball should have gone, and Bryce took advantage of those. And you love to see the tight ends getting involved, and Jalen making a couple of plays as well, because the field starts to tilt, when T-Mac plays as well as he has been. And then today just felt like a balanced deal where Bryce had options and different places to go.
Last question from Cassidy. Let Cassidy go. It's the last one.
Rico went over 1,000 scrimmage yards for the season today. I know you've got a full group, but just what has he kind of meant to this team in that?
Yeah, just the spark, the attitude, the violence, all those things that really just enlivens the group. Guys blocking on the perimeter, guys blocking up front. You know, the big screen at the end there's something that, you know, Rico has been kind of ribbing me on for weeks now. I don't mind telling you guys that. And, you know, they had a, you know, pressure look, and Rico executed it perfectly, and, you know, made it look like protection, and you know, got down the field, and, you know, if he had white cleats on, might be a touchdown, you know. So it was really close. They had to really look at it for a while there, but he gave us a chance to go right there in the red zone and battle on the next couple of plays. And unbelievable play by Bryce to scramble and find T-Mac, and then the 2-point play was huge, obviously, you know, based on how the game played out. So just really proud of the way the guys finished.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.